drivers use BDS tactics to affect change, and I'll let the video kind of explain, but this also doubles as a RBN ratios Israel, because this is a tweet from RBN brother JB, and let's start with the Israel War Room tweet first. And this is an official account. Israel War Room, it has 264,000 followers. And this is what they put out. And it says, breaking, hundreds of Jewish Detroiters were prevented from attending today's pro-Israel rally, aka pro-war rally in DC, when bus drivers staged a deliberate and malicious walkout. Nearly 1,000 people flew from Detroit to DC on a chartered flights. You understand chartered means? That means you got money. Chartered flights and buses were hired to take them from Dulles Airport to the National Mall. However, several buses failed to show up. Drivers had organized a, quote, mass sick-out day upon learning they would be taking hundreds of Jewish Americans to the pro-Israel rally. Approximately 300 people were left stranded on the tarmac for 11 hours before being sent back. This is not the only report. Chartered buses canceling on Jewish groups heading to the rally, which was attended by 290,000 people despite anti-Semites' efforts to sabotage it. Was not no 290. They're just giving us crazy numbers. But it fluctuates between, I've heard 150 and I've heard 300,000. It just fluctuates. It depends on who you're listening to. Let's listen to the video. And this is on the bus. I think this is a worker or the bus driver making an announcement.
By our Detroit Jewish community members to attend the March for Israel in Washington, D.C. And we were proud of the significant number who traveled to the event. The buses that were hired to take over 900 participants from Dulles International Airport to the site of the march failed to appear, delaying the arrival of many or most in our group. We have learned that this was caused by a deliberate and malicious walk-off of drivers. Fortunately, many were able to travel to the march, and we are grateful for the drivers of those buses that arrived. While we are deeply dismayed by the disgraceful action, our resolve to proudly stand in solidarity with the people of Israel, to condemn anti-Semitism, and to demand the return of every hostage held by Hamas has never been greater. This has been confirmed by the bus company of their drivers and what has happened.
Wow. So
our Detroit Jewish community members to attend the...
So it was confirmed that this was a sick out put on by some of the bus drivers when they heard that they would be the ones taking these bloodthirsty genocidal maniacs to this pro-war rally. They said, oh no, and called in sick. There's another part of this. Oh, but first, let me go to this part and show you what JB said to this video now. And this is what JB says, and this is the ratio that I was speaking of. JB says, so BDS works. Bus drivers refuse to transfer people who support a genocide against Palestinians. And JB gets 52,000 likes on that, completely obliterating their 15,000 likes. So that is a successful ratio of Israel by RBN via JB. Rep. Haley Stevens put out something. It is outrageous. So many Michiganders, because she's from Michigan, who flew to DC to attend the March for Israel were denied by bus service from the airport because of their support of the Jewish homeland. This is a shameful and unwarranted attack on speech during a critical time. Yeah, no, I'm not going to play the video. But I do need to go to YouTube because it's almost, I almost have to cover a little bit of it because it's sort of funny. It is funny. And it's on Fox News who covered this, the bus driver sort of walkout. Of course, it's Fox News who covers it.
All right, here we go. A historic day here in our nation's capital. It happened yesterday. the largest pro-Israeli rally in U.S. history, 300,000 plus, peacefully rallied against anti-Semitism and for the safe return of the 200 plus hostages.
But guess what? Not everybody made it to the rally. Hundreds of Jewish individuals from Detroit were left stranded on the tarmac in D.C. on a plane yesterday because their bus drivers allegedly refused to drive pro-Israel supporters to that event.
So our next guest was one of those passengers stranded for more than 8 hours on the tarmac before they flew back home.
Let's listen to this guy or person.
Rally at all.
How crazy is that? University of Michigan student Jonah Seinfeld-Chop joins us right now. Jonah, good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing better than you. I actually got to go to the rally yesterday. You were about 20 miles away from it. So, Jonah, as it turns out, it sounds like these bus drivers, about a third of the bus drivers who were hired by your organization to drive you to the event at the mall behind me here in Washington, a third of them said, you know what? We're going to stage a sick out because we don't like driving Jewish people to that rally.
Oh, my God.
At what point were you told that?
Oh, my God. It has nothing to do with genocide. It had to do with you being Jewish. It has nothing to do with you wanting to attend a pro-genocide rally. It had to do with you being Jewish. Like, nobody's buying this selling of anti-Semitism.
So we were sitting on the tarmac for about an hour and a half when we were told that the buses were having trouble making it through security and entering the tarmac. And then about 2.5 hours after landing in DC from Detroit, rumors started going around the plane that there was an ongoing walkout of the bus drivers who worked for the company that the Jewish Federation of Detroit had hired to drive us into the city for the rally. And then a representative of the Jewish Federation of Detroit got on the speaker of the plane and told us that, in fact, there were bus drivers refusing to come and pick us up to drive us to the protest.
That's insane. So I was reading an article, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all did have the opportunity, and maybe this is the video we're seeing, to get off the plane and then get on another bus, but then they realized that bus was for a different group of passengers, so y'all had to get back on the bus, and you were on the bus for 11 hours straight? I mean, on the plane for 11 hours straight?
Yeah, so we briefly got off the plane.
So it's so, like, when they're describing what they went through, when they're describing some of the anti-Semitic incidents, it's like, that's it. Like, the way the words and the adjectives you're using to describe what you went through seems to be very misplaced. They seem to be outsized.